a century. However, the history of this land goes back long before anyone built a factory or made a machine here. McMaster Innovation Park acknowledges that the land on which we are located sits on the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe nations. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties, directly adjacent to the Haldimand Treaty Territory, and its land is protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum. We are grateful for the opportunity to continue to steward these lands with care and humility. Despite these hundreds of years of generating employment and wealth for Hamilton, Ontario, I would suggest that you haven't seen anything yet. Innovations in health, biomanufacturing, transportation will change our lives for the better and are being developed here on regular occurrence. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I would like to first introduce our distinguished guests. Firstly, the Honourable Vic Fedeli, Ontario Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. Minister Sarkaria, Treasury Board Secretariat. Mr. Trevor Delfini, CEO of Invest Ontario. Dr. Michael May, CEO of CCRM. Armin Bakarizian, founder and CEO of IntelliJoint Surgical Inc. and Medical Innovation Exchange. And Eric Burak, Chief Technical Officer for Fusion Pharmaceuticals. Other distinguished guests, friends, and colleagues, welcome to McMaster Innovation Park. Our mission here at MIP is to help the entrepreneurs, the innovators, and their ventures grow and succeed on a global scale. And one of their needs is for space to grow, to scale from idea to impactful reality. It is for this reason that we embarked on a 2.8 million square foot expansion, the first phase of which we're going to speak about today. So without further ado, I'm pleased and honored to ask Minister Vic Fedeli to step forward and start us off.
Thank you very much, Ty. The last time we were together, we were in India, and we had an incredibly successful trip there where we landed 2 500-employee companies for the province of Ontario that both ended up landing here in the middle of the COVID pandemic, and they are both doing very, very well. So it was a successful trip all around. And you may have heard my quip when Minister Sarkaria was introduced. Prab is where the money comes from, so an extra round of applause, please. And Trevor beside him is where the checks get written from through our Invest Ontario agency, so, you know, I behave myself when I'm with both of those guys. Thanks, Ty, and the whole team at McMaster for hosting us here today at this incredible McMaster Innovation Park. Now, you are going to hear from our colleague, Minister Prabmeet Sarkaria, shortly as he highlights the Pandemic and Emergency Preparedness Act, which he introduced so wonderfully into the legislature this week. We also want to thank our colleague, Donna Skelly, MPP. Hi, Donna. She's the MPP for Flamborough, Glanbrook, and she's joining us here today, as you saw. She is, I gotta say to you, all of you who live in this neck of the woods, she is an amazing representative for her community and a really great friend to McMaster University. Thank you, Donna. I only have 2 pages of notes like this, trust me. And now, although she was unable to be with us today, we do want to acknowledge our colleague, Minister Nina Tangri. She's been an incredible advocate and a friend to Ontario's life sciences sector. I know you all know that, and today's announcement would not be possible without Nina, but she's unable to be here today. And we want to welcome and thank Armin, founder and CEO of IntelliJoint Surgical and Mix, as I call it, for being here with us today. Armin has been a true, incredible partner and advisor to the government and to Premier Ford as we work together to grow Ontario's homegrown life sciences companies. So thank you, Armin. And we also want to welcome Eric Birrick, Chief Technology Officer of Fusion Pharmaceuticals, an oncology company launched 7 years ago right here at McMaster University. How wonderful. Since then, Eric, along with his co-founder John Valiant, has achieved much success in developing next-generation radiopharmaceuticals as precision medicines for oncology patients. Congratulations on your IPO, by the way, which was announced in June of 2020. We all wish you much success on your ventures. I presume there are others that will be introduced shortly. At least I'm hoping there are. It's companies such as these, who we have here on the stage, that put Ontario's world-renowned universities and research ecosystem on the map, and why we're here today to launch Ontario's new life sciences strategy, and to celebrate an exciting $580 million investment in Ontario by Omnia Bio, Inc. So a special thank you, Michael, for the confidence in the people of Ontario and the ecosystem that you all have created here. Congratulations, Michael. That Omnia Bio Inc. is a partnership between the Centre for Commercialization of Regenerative Medicine, we call it CCRM, working with McMaster Innovation Park. Ty, thank you very much for your huge role in this. This is really all coming together rather nicely. And Trevor, thank you for your Invest Ontario investment into CCRM. Invest Ontario is the province of Ontario's investment attraction agency. So Trevor, we do say thank you to you and your team for all you've done in standing up this agency over the last year, for promoting Ontario's strength and attracting new investments like the one we're all here to talk about today with Michael and Ty. This is a really important day for the future of Ontario's life sciences sector. The new state-of-the-art Omnia Bio facility will focus on manufacturing cell and gene therapies that will save lives and advance Ontario's leadership in the life sciences sector. It will be a first for Ontario, the largest and most advanced cell and gene therapy manufacturing facility in Canada. That's a big deal, and not just because of the size of the investment. That in itself is huge. It's because it secures the biomanufacturing capacity in Ontario, building on all the lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic. CCRM and other partners will invest $580 million, of which our government, through Invest Ontario and the Invest Ontario Fund, will be providing up to $40 million. And this will anchor the project, its expertise, and the future intellectual property right here in the province of Ontario. The project also is expected to create 250 highly skilled jobs by 2031. Through this investment, our government is ensuring high-paying jobs and the benefits of potential spin-offs and continuing advanced research that starts and stays right here in Ontario. Omnia Bio will provide innovative companies with a pathway to commercialization, a domestic option for manufacturing to help anchoring companies here in Ontario. And it will help vault Ontario's life sciences sector towards global leadership in cell and gene therapy and related technologies. The Omnia Bio project is our inaugural investment through Invest Ontario. Congratulations to all of you. It is, yeah, that is good. Congratulations, Trevor. Michael and Ty, your Omnio Bio project is the launching pad for taking life sciences to the next level. It's a 10-year plan that we're launching right here, right now, to grow Ontario's life sciences sector and position our province as a global leader. It has been more than a decade since the last life sciences strategy in Ontario, but the sector hasn't stopped progressing and growing in the last 10 years, but it's time that we had a very forward-thinking and innovative plan for the future of the sector. So the strategy is broken down into 2 phases. The first phase will address the immediate challenges, focusing on securing new investments in next-gen health technologies, medicines, and vaccine manufacturing, supporting the growth of high-potential life sciences companies and startups, strengthening our innovation ecosystem, and achieving greater adoption of Ontario-made technologies and solutions across the healthcare system. So as part of the phase 1, our government will launch a new program to address the unique challenges the life sciences innovators face in moving ideas from the lab to the marketplace. And thank you, Minister Sarkaria. The new $15 million Life Sciences Innovation Program will ensure our early stage companies have the capital they need to navigate a longer and more costly commercialization journey. That first phase will also establish a forward-looking Life Sciences Council, and that will focus on long-term growth and competitiveness that will inform the next phase of the strategy. So think about where Ontario was at the beginning of the pandemic, a very precarious position. We were dependent on unstable foreign supply of critical goods, and we faced a hollowed out domestic production capability. And on our province's road to recovery, we had an opportunity to fix this. But more is needed, and we have that plan to deliver. The vision is to establish Ontario as a global biomanufacturing and life sciences hub. Our goal is to grow the life sciences sector to employ 85,000 people in Ontario in high-value jobs by 2030. That's a 25% increase of our 66,000 today. Growing that life sciences sector is essential to our plan to build a competitive economy, and one that is a resilient plan and better prepared for future challenges. We want Ontario to be the place where entrepreneurs choose to build their companies, where medical breakthroughs are discovered and then turned into innovative technologies, medicines, and solutions that we can sell to the world. Products that are made and procured here in Ontario for the benefit of the Ontario people. And that's our plan for the life sciences sector. Now you're going to hear more about the future right now from Minister Prabmeet Sarkaria.
Thank you very much, Minister Fedeli, and thank you to everyone for joining us here today, especially with my colleague, MPP Donna Skelly. She's been an incredible champion for the people of Hamilton, and I've had the opportunity to sit down with her and discuss so many priorities for this city, and just honored to be here with her, and also to celebrate the first investment of Invest Ontario under the leadership of Minister Vic Fedeli. I think this is a game-changing moment, not only for Ontario's economic landscape, but for this country. And to be here with Trevor and the team to celebrate the Omnio Bio as one of the first commitments we know, at least from a Treasury Board perspective, that this money is being spent very well. And although Minister Fedeli is trying to throw Trevor under the bus, he's probably the worst culprit. He's spending all the checks that come through the Treasury Board, so I appreciate it. But I also want to thank Ty for having us here at the McMaster Innovation Park. It truly speaks to how incredible innovation hubs like this are to the cutting-edge innovation that our government is investing in, and I can't think of a more fitting venue for today's announcement. You know, after years of facing pressures, the life sciences sector, whether it was, you know, a higher burden on companies, limited domestic supply here in the province, or a shortage of highly skilled talent, many of Ontario's life sciences companies fled the province. And for far too long, they were not receiving the support and resources that they needed to thrive. And that is why reinvigorating Ontario's life sciences sector is a key part of shoring up our domestic production of critical supplies. This ambition is critical to our government's plan to stay open, which we unveiled earlier this week. We believe that growing the province's life sciences sector begins with having those expertise right here in the province of Ontario. We firmly believe that there is a lifetime of innovation to come in Ontario, and as long as we can create the conditions to nurture and foster it, as Minister Fedeli alluded to in his speech, Ontario will be a global leader. And that is why we are reaffirming that with our commitment to invest over $15 million in Ontario's life science strategy. Through this investment, we will be positioning Ontario for success during this transformative process, creating globally competitive companies and high-paying jobs for Ontarians, allow us to attract new globally relevant biomanufacturing investments, and demonstrate leadership in the next generation of medicine and health technology. All of this work will help our province in meeting the demand to produce Ontario-made technologies and critical supplies like vaccines, which will help enhance our preparedness for any future pandemic or threat to the health of Ontarians. Unlike other governments, we believe that supporting this means of production is critical and crucial to adequately preparing Ontario for the future. We are closing the gaps across Ontario, especially within its supply and health sector. And I would like to thank Minister Fedeli in collaboration with Ty and Michael May for their work here to spur innovation in Ontario today, and for their efforts to protect and save the lives and livelihoods of Ontarians tomorrow. Never again will our government leave the people of Ontario in as precarious of a position as others have. This announcement is a part of our government's plan to ensure we stay open and that Ontario remains vigilant and ready for the future. It is one of the ways that all of you, the people of Ontario, will also hold us accountable. It is one of the ways that we will support our frontline healthcare heroes, and it is one of the ways we will give Ontarians the confidence and security of knowing that when a future pandemic emerges, Ontario will be ready. Together, we will ensure that Ontario is always prepared, because we can never go back to the way things were before. With that, I would like to thank each and every one of you again, and now introduce Michael May. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Sarkaria. I'd love to do a backflip up here because, of course, you can't do that on Zoom. It's such an exciting day and such an important milestone, and it's wonderful to be able to do this face-to-face with everybody. Minister Fedeli, Minister Sarkaria, MPP Skelly, and CEO Dauphiné, on behalf of the hundreds of CCRM's past and present employees, the growing team at Omnia Bio, all of our stakeholders and partners, we'd like to thank you for this catalytic investment in the hottest area in biotechnology and keeping Ontario as a global leader in cell and gene therapy. This has been a 10-year journey for CCRM, an effort to leverage and industrialize the discovery of stem cells in Ontario 60 years ago, to build a one-of-a-kind factory of the future to produce these products, and to center a facility, Omnia Bio, in a Ontario Centre of Excellence for biomanufacturing. I'd like to, Minister Fedeli and Trevor, just say how easy it was to work with your team on this and how collaborative they were. And I think that's because the vision and strategy of CCRM and the government is so well aligned. It's about enabling business and focusing on the scaling of business and understanding that to keep talent in Ontario, to keep intellectual property here and develop it, to create and grow companies and attract companies to Ontario requires a focus in not only building manufacturing capacity, but building manufacturing capability in an ecosystem. And 10 years ago, when we started on this journey, we understood that the gatekeeper of success for these living therapies was going to be manufacturing and the ability to make them at scale. In 2016, we partnered with technology partners and Cytiva, GE Healthcare, to develop a center of excellence to develop manufacturing platforms to enable this manufacturing. In 2019, we launched a partnership with University Health Network in a facility to manufacture these products for clinical scale. And today, we're announcing an investment in the scaling of that activity to the commercial scale with an investment in Omnia Bio and an investment of hundreds of employees to do that in Canada. I want to acknowledge this is a 10-year journey. There are a lot of people responsible for where we are today. But I want to acknowledge the CCRM team, the Omnia Bio team, some of whom are here, but particularly Mitch Civilati, who's led the growth of the business within CCRM and now driving the spin-out of CCRM. Mitch is actually transitioning from CCRM as COO to the CEO of Omnia Bio. So I'd just like to congratulate all of the team, including Mitch. And Ty, you know, Mitch has been working a lot, obviously, with the McMaster Innovation Park team, and the quality of that engagement, and again, its collaborative nature, just assures me and confirms that McMaster Innovation Park is the right partner for Omnia Bio and investing in manufacturing. So thank you very much. Years ago, it was a vision of the future to take cells from a cancer patient, engineer them outside of the body, expand them, and then put them back in the body so that they can target the cancer and result in cures. That's the promise of living therapies and cell and gene therapy. That's now not a vision of the future. Those products are here today. What's a vision of the near future is that we will stamp Made in Ontario on those products because they will be made here for Ontario and for around the world. This investment will impact life sciences in Ontario for 30 or 50 years. I guarantee it. It's transformative for CCRM and its mission. It's transformative for Hamilton, for Ontario, and for Canada. I just want to thank you for including us in your life science strategy and your confidence in us to demonstrate that life science is the place to invest and that the future of our economy and for the health of our patients is in cell and gene therapy. Thank you very much. Ty, back to you.
Well, thank you, Michael. Just a few concluding words, and then we'll move into the media phase of it. I want to thank everybody again for joining us here today. Minister Fedeli, Minister Sarkaria, MPP Skelly, thank you so much for joining us today. I'd like to address Dr. May, Michael. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your confidence in McMaster Innovation Park. You've been a terrific partner. It's an exciting time to be here in Hamilton, where we see the intersection of Hamilton's historic strengths, first in manufacturing, now combined with health sciences, coming together to create a new generation of biomanufacturing. It's hugely exciting. And so I want to thank everybody, because we're going to stop talking, because we got work to do. We got to go change the world. But before we do that, I'm going to turn it over to Krista. Yeah.
Any questions from our media? Or get to conclude?